You know, this story may be familiar. I remember sharing it at Amsterdam in 1986 at the invitation of Billy Graham, speaking there, that large conference of over 10,000. And I remember as many languages as were represented there, there was not a single person who wasn't bent over in laughter at the end of this story. Every language got to the point. Pardon me if the story is familiar to you. It's the story of these two brothers who were really debauched in their lifestyles, did every dirty, rotten, stinking thing you could think of. But one of them all of a sudden died. And so the surviving brother went to the local pastor and said, "Would you mind preaching at my brother's funeral? We don't know anybody in a church. Would you preach at his funeral? A lot of people are going to come." The pastor, out of pity, said, "All right, well, I don't know, but you guys were..." He said, "Look, I'll pay you an awful lot of money." And he named the big sum of money. He said, "I just have one request for you. When you're pronouncing my brother's eulogy, would you please call him a saint?" So it doesn't matter whatever you say, just refer to him as a saint. The pastor thought over very quickly and said, "All right, I think I can do that." And the day of the funeral came, and the man was lying in the coffin, and the place packed with the who's. And the pastor in the middle of his sermon started to wax eloquent and said this: "The man you see in the coffin was a rotter. He did every dirty, nasty, horrible, vicious, debauched thing you can ever think of doing. He was a true rotter to the bone, but compared to his brother, he was a saint." Every language group laughed because every language group understood the reality of that. You may be a saint, compared to whom? The Bible says we have all sinned and come short of the glory of God. Have you seen your own heart before Jesus Christ? You know, when Jacob was wrestling with God, God could have asked him many questions, and Jacob said, "I'm not going to let you go until you bless me." And God asked him the most extraordinary question: "What is your name?" Does an omniscient God not know my name? He said, "My name is Jacob." Why do you think he asked him that? Because years before, when he stole the blessing from his blind father, he pretended to be Esau. Now he's kneeling before an all-seeing Father, and God says, "Who are you?" He says, "You got me. I'm Jacob." Because he admitted who he was, God said, "I'd make something great out of him." Ladies and gentlemen, God can never make something great out of you until you first realize how sinful your heart is before him.